Hello and welcome to the Congo Hour. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Trippi. Joined this evening with my co-host Waynna. We are back together. I'm not sure if that comes across as like, because we were saying, so you guys know, last weekend I wasn't here. The week before that, Waynna wasn't here. So we haven't been together on the show for a while.
Yes.
So during one of Waynna's live Facebook airs, I was like, yeah, we're back together. She was like, don't say that. People are going to think we're married. People know who we are.
Not
People know
everybody.
our friendship. People know our friendship, our relationship.
But there are some people
Not
that
anymore.
thought that I would.
Like recently?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Like what? Like never.
I thought it was like years ago.
No.
Still?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So Waynna and I are back on the show together, and it feels so good to be back together again with you, Waynna.
Oh, thank you, Trippi. Likewise.
Yeah. So, what are we going to talk about this evening? We are going to talk about July 4th. That just happened last week. We are going to talk about Juneteenth. Yes, we're going to talk about the Supreme Court decision.
Yes.
We're going to talk about, you're going to talk about Morgan.
Yes.
And her experience with your surgery and whatever else comes to mind.
Okay.
How does that sound?
That sounds wonderful.
All right, so last week, the country celebrated July 4th. So I guess with people becoming more aware of Juneteenth and the significance around Black history and versus July 4th and how we have always celebrated July 4th and how we also need to celebrate Juneteenth. And not only, I was thinking about this over the weekend too, not only Black people, but I think everybody really needs to celebrate Juneteenth. Just like the same way that we have celebrated July 4th.
Yes.
Blindly.
Yes.
Yes. Not knowing, many of us not really knowing the truth behind July 4th and how most of our ancestors were enslaved and they weren't free. But we're celebrating freedom for America, but it wasn't freedom for us. So a lot of people are just becoming more and more aware of Juneteenth again and its significance. So tell me your thoughts about July 4th and Juneteenth, and then we can
So
talk
yeah,
about it.
so growing up, celebrated 4th of July, went to the fireworks,
Right.
cookouts and all of that. However, like you said, when I learned when I was more educated, I did differently. So
Right.
I honestly didn't do anything yesterday.
No.
I felt some kind of way.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to play Jill Scott's rendition of the national anthem for our viewers to hear.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's gonna be nice.
Yes.
That's gonna be really nice. And I guess it's important to me that people understand. They can't relate, of course, but they understand how important Juneteenth is to us, and why I believe that they should also participate and celebrate, because that's the time when people in America were truly free, technically at least.
Yes.
That's when the slaves last served in Texas, that they were actually free. It took a few years for the news to travel.
That part
right to
was
put
crazy
it. Yeah,
to
put
me.
it. So it took like I think 2 or 3 years for the slaves in Texas to find out that they were actually free, and that's when that's how Juneteenth came to be. It was on June the 19th.
Yes.
So again, there's a new awareness around celebrating our freedom, and I guess some people are conflicted, some aren't. So I guess I struggle with. Same way that you didn't want to do anything intentionally. People were still having barbecues and cookouts and parties and celebrating. But I hope that everyone understands both.
Right. Yeah.
And isn't afraid to celebrate both, white or black.
Right.
And really just understands the significance of both and why people really need to. I think everyone in America really needs to celebrate Juneteenth. You know what I was really upset about the most is businesses that know about Juneteenth but wouldn't celebrate it, wouldn't take off.
Yeah.
But when it came around to July 4th, they were closed. So I'm like,
yeah.
And Juneteenth is a federal holiday now,
Yes.
but they decided to stay open. But when July 4th came around, they were closed.
Right.
So that kind of opened my eyes around a lot of different businesses who who chose.
Yeah. You know what? I decided, so I'm a part of this book club that Dr. D.D. Freeman has. And we're reading this book. It's called Permission to Live Free. And it's by Dr. Jackie Green, if anybody wants to purchase it. So I read the book on the I was reading on the 4th of July, and I'm like, okay, this is like very significant to me because it's talking about living free.
Right.
4th of July is allegedly freedom. So
Right.
I did it that way.
Okay. I
Yeah.
understand that. So yeah, I would like to hear people's feedback. How can people give us some feedback?
So if they are on, they would have to go to our Facebook page, the
Okay.
Congo Hour,
All right.
and give us feedback. And that way we can talk about it next. Are you gonna be here next week?
I'll be here next week.
Okay.
Yep, I'll be around.
I need your schedule.
Yeah, give us your feedback on why you celebrated both, why you only celebrated one, which one you celebrated, and just your reasoning behind it, and how you feel about our topic, one of our topics this evening. Again, like the thing that really hit home for me are the businesses. We decided to celebrate one and not the other when they could have celebrated both.
Right.
I think that sends I don't want to. Because some people who look like us and who are black don't understand it either. So I don't want to automatically assume.
So there lies the
Right.
thing, because there are people that look like you and I
Right.
who decided that they prefer not to celebrate Juneteenth and celebrate the 4th of July.
Right.
And it could be because of ignorance, uneducated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's my responsibility and our responsibility just to educate, just the same way that we were educated. So I had a huge.
That's an understatement.
Right. So I had a Juneteenth party, barbecue at my house. It was a lot. It was a lot.
We'll talk about that later.
I want to talk about it because it was a lot, and there were a lot of people there, way more than I expected.
Because you put it on social media.
I know, but I've done that. Like I invited everyone because it's really hard for me just to individually invite people because I don't have everyone's contacts, and I lost a lot of contacts in my phone. And then if people aren't invited, they feel some kind of way. So I just wanted everybody. I wanted a couple things. I wanted to raise awareness. I wanted to celebrate Juneteenth, and again, I just love having fun and entertaining people, right?
And I appreciate that about you.
So there were like hundreds of people at my house on Juneteenth, to the point where there were younger people because my children were inviting people. It was family oriented, of course. All my gatherings are kid friendly. So Max and Morgan, they were inviting their friends, and their friends were inviting their friends, and my friends were there. So it was really a nice mixed crowd, no trouble. But there were so many people there. I was like, I can't do this again because it was too much. Because it was to the point like I couldn't enjoy myself because I was just worried.
You couldn't enjoy yourself. I couldn't enjoy. So wait a minute. It's me, Mr. C and Mrs. C, sitting at the dining room table. I'm making sure that they're going into the bathroom. I'm going upstairs to make sure they're not going in there. I said, this ain't even my house.
Yeah, it was.
And I was like, it was a lot. Like,
But
I really think you should get a porta potty. There are porta potties that don't look like porta potties.
Definitely. Yeah, I definitely have to do that.
Okay.
And I was, in my mind, I was like, I can't do this again. There was too many people. My neighbors were fine, but there were just too many people. I was like, I can't do
Your
this again.
neighbors are a part of us.
They were there too. So I was like, I can't do it again because there were just too many people. But then people were giving me feedback on how they had a good time, and then why they felt that I have to have it again, because and even my dad, he did. He even said. At first, he was kind of nervous too because there were so many people. But then a couple of days later, I guess he got his thoughts together. He said, "Next year, you got to do it even bigger." I was like,
Okay, not at the house.
"No, at the house, but even bigger. Like, keep doing it because of why we're doing it, like the significance of why, and just helping people to understand that we really need to celebrate that holiday."
So,
But it has to be like I have to have more crowd control and like parking, and I have to do it a better way. But I'm definitely going to do it again. just to make sure that. And then one of my friends brought up like because there were a lot of younger people there. They were like, you never know, Trippi, like you could like because the backyard is kind of nice.
Not kind of.
It's kind of
It's
it's hard for
nice.
me to talk about, but they were like people who were there, like younger people who were there, may have been like inspired.
Yes.
Seeing somebody who's black and who is giving back and who can have an event like this. So you probably inspired a lot of people. I was like, yeah, I don't really see myself in that role, but I was like, I could see where she was coming from. So like for that reason, like I have to do it again. I just have to make sure that people understand it's not just a party.
Right.
While we were celebrating and the importance of the celebration and the importance of like showing love to each other and giving back and supporting black businesses and black people. So I think for me not to do it again would almost be a crime.
You talked about black businesses.
Yes.
The bus that you have,
Oh,
that's
my
a
goodness.
black-owned
Yes,
business.
yes.
You called her the day of or the day before?
It was the day before. She's a neighbor, and I didn't know that. So
She's a neighbor.
Yes, she lives 2 blocks away from me. So I
Okay.
had the first party that I had this year. I just did something like really small. I just wanted to invite the neighbors. So I just like the kids. They went around and gave all the neighbors like in like the surrounding like 3 or 4 blocks flyers like come on out and have a barbecue at the house. And so she got the flyer, and then she said she wanted to have she wanted to do a block party, and she has this like a party van, like a trailer that turns into like a party van. I was like, all right, that's a good idea. Let's have a block party. So she was like, I'm gonna come. I didn't make it to the party, but let me come around and see your yard, and let me show you some of my pictures of my trailer. I call it a trailer, but it's way more than a trailer.
Yeah.
So she came, and then she showed me what she had, and I was just blown away.
Nice.
I cannot remember the name of her business because I want to give her a shout out.
I can't either, but we're gonna find out.
Yeah, we have to give her a shout out.
Yeah.
But she has this trailer that she converted into a bar and into like a little seating area and into the top of it is like where the DJ can play his records, and it was
It was like a VIP section up there
right.
too.
It was just it really just added like it just took the party to a whole other level. And she was great. Like she she runs it. Like she and her family run it.
Her mother was there.
Yeah, her mom was there. Like her nieces and nephews, they all run it. And she has to come on the show. We got to get her to come on the show
Okay.
so she can explain, because I'm not doing a very good job of it. But she just like they do weddings, they do a little bit of everything, because this trailer, whatever she calls it.
It's not a
It's not a trailer. It is. It's a trailer, but they converted it into.
Okay.
It's a trailer.
I know
but
I don't like the word trailer.
I know, because it doesn't do it any justice. But
Yeah, like it dims it down.
Yeah, it does. But once you guys see it, you're gonna be amazed.
It's like double decker.
Yeah, it's a double decker. That's what we're gonna call it, a double decker. And then she has like, I'll let her come explain
Okay.
to it, because she has like neon furniture that glows at night.
Oh, wow.
She has a little bit of everything. She has like neon swings. She has a lot. But we definitely have to have her
Okay.
come on.
All right. I'll reach
So
out.
yeah, I think for me not to do it would almost be a crime, because I think it's important that people just understand, why we're celebrating, and just raising awareness again, because a lot of us still don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think Juneteenth has only, of course, it's been around forever, but it's really becoming people are becoming more aware of Juneteenth. Yeah, the awareness is definitely increasing now. So, I want to be a part of that, and I think it's my responsibility to be a part of that. So, yeah, I'm going to do it next year.
Okay.
I'm going to figure out how we can do it bigger and do it better, and yeah, I think that's really important. Uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, give us your feedback on how you feel about Juneteenth, how you feel about July 4th, and if you're still learning about it, just be transparent, because I think all of us are still learning about it. What was so awesome, Waynna, is that we were able right here in Wilmington. If you look up a lady's name named Opal Lee.
Yes.
It's Opal. Last name is Lee, Lee. So she is a lady who is in her mid-90s.
And doesn't look like it.
Not at all. But she is the mother of why Juneteenth is a federal holiday.
Yes.
So she lives in Texas, and to raise awareness around Juneteenth, she walked from Texas to Washington, D.C. I think she was in her 80s or early 90s when she did it. And once she did that, and once Delaware recognized Juneteenth, we were fortunate enough to have her at the Legacy Center.
Yes, I was there.
When the governor signed the legislation making Juneteenth a holiday here in the state.
We was a part of history.
Yes, we were, and that was a really good feeling. But definitely look up Opal Lee. She's still living, she's still thriving, she's still an activist. APAL.
And she has a book.
She does. She has a book. She's just a brilliant lady, a strong lady, and just to be in her mid 90s now, just moving around like she's our age.
Yes.
Well, my age, like a little older. It's just incredible.
So, like my age.
Yeah, like your age.
Because you're younger.
Yeah, because I'm younger. Yeah, like your age.
Oh, my nerves.
So yeah, definitely look her up. Definitely spread the word about Juneteenth. And again, just let us know how you feel about Juneteenth and how you feel about July 4th. Cool?
Cool.
All right.
I feel like very awkward, like sitting here.
Do you?
Because one, I'm short, so it's like I want to sit back, but my legs are up. Like I don't know whether I need a step stool. Like I don't know what I need. But I love the I love the furniture. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I just had to find my comfort spot. Like I feel like I don't know what I'm doing with my head.
It's a big couch, but it is a big couch. I guess we're used to the smaller, like the
I'm used to
smaller ones. Yeah, so again, shout out to DETV for the studio that they put together.
Yes,
it's
I
awesome.
absolutely love it.
All right, you want to take a quick break, or you want to keep going, or what's?
Let's take a quick break.
Okay, we're going to take a couple minute break, and then we'll be right back.
All right.
All right, we'll talk about Morgan.
Okay.
All right.
DETV has been Delaware's premium provider of creative digital and broadcasting solutions that bridges communities and connects people. We create great stories for all audiences. We deliver independent news throughout Delaware. We are digital platform innovators. And we develop marketing and sales solutions so you can stay connected to your audience. Now, why do we do what we do here on DETV? We do it because we care. So, keep watching and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, DETV, online, on air, on time.
Welcome back to the Congo Hour. I hope that you have enjoyed the show so far. And now Trippi and I are going to talk about, I had a procedure done, and I don't mind sharing the procedure. And I don't know the real terminology for it, but I had to get my esophagus dilated. And I knew that Morgan had already she watched Dr. Joan Coker do a thyroid procedure. So when I found out that she did that, I'm like, oh, okay, my niece can be in there. I told her, she asked Dr. Coker, of course, Dr. Coker said yes. So I wasn't sure she was gonna show up.
She was excited.
No, I wasn't sure because it was like when I was getting prepped.
Oh, okay.
But she showed up and I got so excited. I know everybody all the other people waiting to get surgery was like, what the heck is going on? So so I texted her, I said, how did it go? She was like, basically she's traumatized.
I guess so. Let's give the audience some background.
Okay.
So Waynna wants to be a doctor.
Waynna.
I mean Morgan. Morgan wants to be a doctor. She wants to be a brain surgeon.
Yes.
So she's going to Spelman, and then she'll figure out what med school she wants to go to.
But when she getting ready to go on a trip.
And so Dr. Coker, Joan Coker, has taken her under her wing. So, and is just kind of opening her eyes to like the medical field.
Right.
So again, when Waynna said she was gonna get this procedure done, Morgan was a part of it, and she was so excited about it. She was really looking forward to it. and somebody sent me a picture of the three of you afterwards, and it almost made me cry because I'm like, oh, it did, because I like my little baby there, and then you were there, and then Joan was there, just like the whole friendship, and how how Joan has just kind of taken her under her wing, and then you let her be a part of the surgery. Like, it really meant a lot to her, so she was really excited about it. What did she say? She said it traumatized her.
Basically traumatized her. She said, Aunt Waynna, I thought she was just gonna do like an incision. She said she took this she said she took this, did she tell you about it?
No.
It's like she took this great big pipe and like pushed it down into your stomach. I was like, I'm gonna Google it. She's like, don't Google it. She was like, cause you'll never get it done again.
That's funny.
But yeah, because she was, like I said, she was expecting probably, I guess the thyroid, she probably just did like a little incision somewhere.
That's the same thing I was envisioning.
Yeah, no, it's not like that.
There's a lot involved.
Yeah.
So yeah, but she is going to Guatemala. She talked about this before on the show, but this Friday, right now she is already in Guatemala.
Right.
Right. So Dr. Joan Coker again has just taking Morgan under her wing.
You keep saying Waynna.
Why do I keep doing that?
Am I supposed to be a doctor?
Maybe. So right now they are in Guatemala for 2 weeks, doing surgeries on medical procedures on people in that area who need them for at no cost.
Right.
And I know that's just going to open Morgan's eyes up again, and I can't wait till she comes back on the show and shares her experience with all of us.
So both of them will come on the Wednesday after they return.
You already
Of course.
Oh, yeah, I should have known. Yeah, you're right. That's gonna be a great show.
Yes.
So that will be on
The 19th.
I think they get back on the 21st. No, they get back on the 16th.
They coming on the 19th.
They're coming on the 19th. Okay. So make sure that you watch. No, they're coming on.
We're pre-recording on the 19th.
Yeah, so they'll be on like the 24th or the 23rd.
Whatever that Sunday is.
Whatever. I think it's the 24th. Matter of fact, it is the 20th. I think it's the 24th. That's Mariah's birthday.
Okay.
So Mariah have to be here. That's gonna be a show.
Wait. Oh gosh. We're gonna need another hour if Mariah's coming on.
That's gonna be a show right there. So yeah, again, I appreciate you for letting her sit in there with you and just getting that experience. Really looking forward. So we're gonna take her down to Spelman next month, and she is just so excited about it.
She's gonna do extremely well.
Oh, she is. She's just a natural thriver. Like, she loves to learn and loves to be. She's extremely organized, and like, she's just a go-getter.
She gets that after her mom.
Definitely, and we talked about that too. We talked about that too.
All of those attributes come from
her mom molded her.
Organized.
Yeah, all that. Great in school. Yeah, so just looking forward to her journey and her sharing it with us.
Me too.
All right, so let's take another break. One more break.
That fast.
Yeah.
That was fast. Okay.
Yeah, we'll take one more break, and then we're gonna come back and talk about the Supreme Court's decision.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Government doesn't make a move without an agenda, some type of plan. The problem is we haven't been on the agenda. Sometimes we're overlooked. Sometimes our interests aren't the interest of those in power. I'm your host, Kerwin Gaines, on DETV's new show, The Agenda. We're going to do our best to ensure that you, Delawareans, are knowledgeable about what's going on in the Assembly. Federal government, local government, it doesn't matter. We're going to do our best to ensure that folks that make the agenda on a daily basis have to answer for it. Let them explain what they're doing. If it affects you, it's on the agenda.
Hello and welcome back to the show. We hope that you are enjoying our discussion so far. Again, if you ever want to give us any feedback, if you want to come on and be a part of the Congo Hour, Waynna will let you know how you can do just that, because I always forget.
You forget what?
Like, what's the best way for people?
My phone number, call, text.
Okay, so you can call or text Waynna at 302-521-73. Is it 7521?
No, 7.
Oh, well, what's the number?
521-7321. No.
Oh, snap. I forgot your own number.
521-7325.
7325, 521-7325. You can text her, you can give her a call, and you can be a part of the Congo Hour. So we have been back on the air, Waynna, for about, how long now? 2 months? Longer than 2 months?
I think a little over 2 months.
A little over 2 months?
Yeah.
Again, it's just really good to be back in your living rooms and not even like on your laptops, on your
telephones.
cell phones. Yeah, so again, we just really appreciate all the support and all the love that you have given us over these last few months. And we just want to keep on bringing better and better shows, and we want you to let us know how we can do just that, whether it's our guests, whether it's our conversations. If you have some feedback that you might think that we might not be open to. Mm-hmm. If you have some criticism, like, give them to us, because we want to be better. So
yes.
We won't take it personally. We're going to count it as love because you want us to be better. And so just give Waynna a call or a text. Sound good?
That's fine, yes.
Okay, all right. So Waynna, I want to talk about the Supreme Court's recent decision around ending affirmative action. Mm-hmm. And I guess a lot of people are concerned around what the effect will be on like students, minority students getting into different colleges and universities, mm-hmm. Getting hired at different places. And I understand that, I get that. But then a part of me is like I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to really show the kind of love that our HBCUs need.
Yes.
And like financially, especially financially, mm-hmm. But even making HBCUs like a priority and a first choice. But in order for that to happen, a lot of children, a lot of students are going to need like financial help. So I think that financial piece is extremely important. So it's one thing to say that we support HBCUs, that we went to an HBCU, and but it's a whole different thing to financially support HBCUs. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be really important. But like before we were able to go to those different colleges and universities, like we did it ourselves.
Right.
And I guess a perfect example is Howard High, because everybody who was older and had a chance to experience like Howard High when that was the only high school that they could go to in the area, like in the county. They just rave about the experience, the teachers, how the teachers just loved on them and cared for them, and how everybody was just a family.
My grandfather went to Howard.
Yeah,
and loved it.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. And how they just, when people downstate that would come up, people up here would let them like live with them. Yeah. Because they were interested in education. And then when we were able to go into different schools and we were integrated, I think it took that family element away. Yeah. Some people think that it really hurt us to a point where we just, and especially the businesses, like when you had to go to a black business, because we weren't allowed in white businesses. Like the black businesses really thrived. But then when we were allowed to buy and support all businesses, like it really crippled like Black businesses. So again, I just think this is an opportunity for us to really just rethink and kind of focus on why there are HBCUs and how important they are to our community, and how we really need to support them on a like especially financially, but just making them like a first choice.
Right. Not I want same topic, but you talked about businesses. I didn't know that years ago colored folks could not buy vanilla ice cream.
Oh, well, I didn't know that either.
Is that crazy? They could only buy like chocolate or butter pecan or
Wow, I never knew
whatever,
that.
but they could not purchase vanilla ice cream. And I don't know what year that they were that we were allowed to.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty.
Isn't that?
Yeah, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
I think that just shows that how we just have to make sure that we are supporting each other and loving each other and not hating anybody, but loving ourselves first. And when I say ourselves, I'm not talking about me, but like Black people first.
Right.
Because when we do that, like everybody wins. So some people might look at that as like anti-white, but it's not. It's like when Black people are able to really love each other and support each other, everybody wins because there will be less crime. There's going to be more money circulated in the community.
And the other cultures do that.
Right, and everybody does it. And it's a shame that we think that we even have to justify why.
Right.
You know,
that's why I said other
right.
cultures do it.
Everybody does it.
Yeah.
And I think this is just a perfect opportunity with this affirmative action decision, like for us to do it. And I understand that people are upset, but I don't know. I think it's a blessing in disguise.
But we always make great things come out of the worst things. So,
Right.
yeah.
No, yeah, I think it's a blessing, and that's not saying that we're still not going to get into those schools, because we are.
Right.
But I just think that we have to make ourselves first. We have to make ourselves a priority. Like again, because like you say, everybody does it. Every other
Right.
culture does it. Like I want to be able to talk about this and not have to feel that I have to explain why, because people know why. But people will use like this conversation to say that I'm or the show or you are anti something, but we're not. We're just pro
Yeah.
us, and I
But-
think that's important.
Yeah, that truly is the case, because I have friends that are, across the board, and I do feel like when I'm around them, sometimes it's like I have to minimize my Blackness
How come?
because of what you said. Like if I'm talking about, let's go to a Black-owned restaurant. Let's support Black-owned. Like why you got, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah.
But I think that's an opportunity to educate, because like normally it's just almost naturally we just support other than. So I think it's an opportunity to have that conversation. Like I want to go to this restaurant and this is why.
That's what I'm gonna do
Yeah.
when we go next
Right.
time.
Just help educate them, because some people just don't know, and some people have never had that conversation. But I think if it comes from someone who they trust and they love already, they're gonna be open to it. And if they're not, that lets you know.
Right.
Right.
That part.
Right. So again, I just think that I understand that a lot of people are upset about it, and they are having press conferences and marching, but I just think it's a blessing in disguise if we're able to take advantage of the opportunity to just put ourselves first and make ourselves a priority.
As we should.
Well, and I just think that when that happens, and I always think that Wilmington is the perfect place for that to happen, because it's so small and everybody's so connected. I just think that Wilmington could really be like the model for every other city, every other state across the country, because if we can make that happen here, and when I say that, just having like Black Wall Streets, and and again, Dell State is already doing their thing, but just making Dell State, just increasing what Dell State is doing, and Tony Allen and his team down there are doing, and just because when I was growing up, like Dell State wasn't a priority. I didn't want to go there,
Where did you want to go?
I want to go to Hampton. I still want to go to an HBCU, but I wanted to go to Hampton.
Okay.
And it was crazy because I went down to Hampton for a summer, so I had to prove myself, like grade-wise, that I deserved to be at Hampton because my grades at Sanford weren't that good. So they were like,
your grades wasn't good, your sportsmanship wasn't good.
I was just friendly, you know. I was everybody's friend, but when it came to studying or shooting a basketball, I'll forget about it. I wasn't focused in school at all, and it's funny because, like, as long as I was at Del State, and I went to Sanford, graduated from Sanford, but I was at Del State for years, and then once I got to mortuary school and got myself together, mortuary school was tough. It was way harder than Del State, way harder than Sanford. Like I went up there.
You was going?
Yeah, I went up there and I just was like, I'm gonna do it. I put my mind to it, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I got on the president's list, and it wasn't because I already worked at a funeral home, because you learn it's anatomy and biology and chemistry and all these different sciences. But once I changed my mind, and I decided to stop playing around, it was just like I was a brand new person.
Yeah, you went through we was all, first of all, we were surprised.
About which
How
part?
well, I mean, you did extremely well, but you matured, so.
Yeah, and I guess if I can leave that with anybody, is that it's never too late, just to refocus and reinvent yourself and get serious about whatever your passion is. And that was my passion. And I wanted to do well, and I was like, I want to do well for myself and for my parents and for everybody who supported me. And I just didn't want to have a repeat of Del State. And I loved Del State, and I was there forever, and I was able to make a lot of friends because I was there for so long. Right. So it all worked out because now I have friends who like Meshach.
Was you there when Amber was there?
No. Come on now, stop playing.
But that's how you met Meshach?
Yeah, Meshach. So if I would have finished on time, I wouldn't have met Meshach.
See, everything happens.
Yeah, so it all happens for a reason. I'm not saying that I'm glad that I was messing around, but it all came together and all worked out. And he's like one of my best friends.
And look at you now.
Right. Whatever that means.
President of Wilmington City Council.
Yeah. That's
don't dumb down yourself.
I'm not. I'm saying I was gonna say it's a blessing.
Yeah.
It feels really good that like even my struggles through council, like being on council, like people still have the faith in me that I'm always gonna do the right thing and keep putting me back. I've always had somebody to run against me, but people have had enough faith in me and have had enough faith in what they have seen from me on council that they have always voted me back into office. And I
think you're always fair, even in my personal life. And I shared this before. Like if I say something to you, you don't take my side. You'll be like, you should try this, or don't do this, or don't go here, or whatever. So yeah.
So I'm definitely grateful for the community and supporting me the way they have on council. Because I don't think that, and they have had reasons not to. But again, I'm always going to put people first.
Right.
Like I'm never going to put like politics before what I think is right for people. And I might be the only. I've been like, this is my 15th year on council. I've been on council for 15 years. That's crazy, right?
Really?
Yeah. And I've been the only person that voted for something or didn't vote for something. 15 years, and I'm okay with that. And I think people have noticed that, and they know that I can't be influenced by anything. Friendships, like money, media, like I have to thank my parents for that, just always keeping me grounded and always helping me to realize that I'm here because of the community.
Right.
So I'm always going to put the community first.
Yes.
And of course, I'm going to run again.
I was going to say 2024.
Yeah, I'm going to run again, and if I'm successful, I'm even that more appreciative that they saw me as president for this one term, and they saw that I'm doing a well enough job to again just giving me another opportunity. So it feels good. Like it really feels good, not to be president, but just to be thought of that much by the community. Because most people, like I grew up here, and just knowing that they've seen me, like you said, mature since birth, and they keep having confidence in me. That's a really good feeling.
Right.
What?
I don't want to say what
You about to say something crazy. You about to mess up the whole moment.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to say it.
Thank you. Wait till the camera, wait till the mics are turned off, then we can talk,
Wait till they
about
say
it.
clear.
Yeah, and wait till we're outside, matter of fact. Not even after they say clear, nope. But no, it's a good feeling, and I hope that people, this will probably be my one thing out of all of my years in politics, that people become more involved in it and understand it. Because again, I had no idea what local government was until I really got into it. And we're not taught that. Like I wasn't taught that at Sanford. You know, we understand national politics or maybe world politics,
Right.
but not local.
Right.
Like who your city council people are, who your county council people are, who your state reps and senators. And
You know, when I worked for the county, we had something in the chambers where students came from different schools, and they got to understand local
politics.
I don't like politics, but yeah,
Local government.
local government. Yeah.
And I think, and that was great, but I think that it really need, like, it has to be in the school. Because
Right, I feel you.
you know, they were able to come there, but that was probably maybe at the most a few hundred.
Yeah,
At the very most.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but it really needs to be a class in school that they take. So just so they can know the importance of like civic associations and how civic associations can really get things done if they're strong enough, if they're
Yes.
vocal enough. They can be game changers. But I never knew about a civic association when I was growing up, you know?
No, okay.
Yeah, I didn't. So I guess I would want that to be the one thing that I hope that our state can do a better job of, is just making, and I was saying like Wilmington can really be like the model. That would be one of the things, just making local government like a course that children take throughout the years. Just like math, you take math every year, like you
Right.
keep on taking local government every year, because that's really important. That's where change happens.
Right.
And getting to know again who the local politicians are and how to get in touch with them and how to help them to understand like the community's needs.
So when they grow up, they will
Already be involved, and they're already
Yeah.
going to civic groups, and they're already coming to going to council meetings.
Yes.
So that's really important, because council members, like, we act different. We act differently when if chambers is empty. I have seen council members vote a certain way than when it's jam packed.
Right.
Right, so people showing up makes a huge difference.
And not only showing up, but prior to it starting, giving public comments.
Yeah, that too. Yep, and public comments is everything. And it's funny because, like, public comment was always, it's some, like, for some sessions that I've been on in council, like, it's been a point of contention. But again, this is what we signed up for. You know, if somebody wants to come and blast me, okay, I have to be humble enough and open-minded enough to say, you know, if there's any truth in it, let me do better.
Right.
If there's not, I'm not gonna get upset about it, because I know myself. But if there is, and if it's me or if it's just council in general, and we have to be open-minded enough to say, okay, you're right, and thank them.
You know, another thing that is important to me for those that serve is that you don't like vote on your own personal preference, but you're voting for your constituents.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's really important. Really important not to be almost, I don't want to say selfish. Is that the right word? Not to be so, what's the right word?
There's so many things that I want to say, but I don't want to say.
No, you can say it.
Like I was thinking self-centered. That was the first thing
Yeah,
that came
okay.
to me.
All right, and that's true, because some, politicians can be, people can be, but I think as a politician, we have to be able to understand that it's not about us. It's
Right.
about people. In my opinion, it's about people especially about people who have less than. Like, that's really important for me to understand that my vote, whatever I'm voting on, is for people who have less than.
Right. Right.
So, and again, you got to be fair to everybody, but I think that is being fair to everybody once we're able to uplift those who have been underserved.
That's right.
Now, I think we have to be very, very intentional about creating legislation, policies that are focused on people who have been underserved. And again, that's why I say that Wilmington is the perfect model, because we're so small and we're so connected that we can talk to our senators, we can talk to the mayor, we can talk to the governor, we can talk to everybody.
Right.
You know, we just have to have the courage to stand up to a system that doesn't particularly serve people who look like us on a level that I think that it should. And we have to understand, like, we have to be courageous enough to have those conversations with people who don't understand it, to help them to understand why they should put money in different directions, and why we have to, like, have a change in our school systems, and why we have to really look at our court systems and our prison systems. Because the system is that way for a reason.
Right.
You know, and
It was set up that
right,
way.
it was set up that way for a reason. But now that it's our turn, and if we lose, we lose. But I think we cannot walk out of this. Like, I don't want to walk away from this when I'm done and not feel that I have done something that was extremely impactful for, you know, for people in our community. So we kind of went to the left.
But that was, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it was good. It flowed.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Again, that's my take on politics, and that's why I got into it. That's what I hope that I'm able to. Again, I don't want to do it forever, but I want to be able to bring up people who understand. I don't think I'm perfect, but I want to be able to have people come into our role who understand the importance of, again, like, serving people who are underserved.
I think it's also important as council people or any part of government to, like, groom other people.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Because they're people that come and they stay forever, and
Right,
I don't think they should do that.
No, I don't want to be a lifetime politician. And it's, you know, it's humbling when people say, "Nah, Trippi, we need you." And I understand. Like, I get it. I do understand that. And that's a very good feeling for somebody to, especially people who I don't know but have watched me, white, black, Hispanic, like across the board, and said, "Nah, we need you to stay in there." That's a really good feeling. But I think it's my responsibility to groom, to help people to understand that, and I can't do this forever, but to help
But
the
you're
next
still
generation.
I mean, you're still kind of young, so
Yes.
you have. Oh,
Right. Yeah, I am, but I think it's my responsibility to, because I didn't get into it till I was, like, in my 30s, you know. But I think it's like we have to start grooming people when they're in their teens and the early 20s. They just think differently. They have, you know, innovative ideas, and they just bring a whole, like, another perspective to local government. So, you know, that's something that I want to really.
A real perspective.
Right. All right. I want to be a part of that.
Yes.
And just not, you can't really be in this and let friendships get in the way. Again, I think I mentioned this before, but most people get into politics with good intentions, but then we get friends and we don't want to offend each other, and we just kind of go along with the system because we don't want to be offensive.
Right.
And I think that's where politics is. That's where I think it turns left, and it doesn't do what its intent is, in my opinion. Again,
I agree.
But again, some people think that it should. Everybody has a different idea about what politics should be.
Right.
But I think that if we're able to serve people who have been underserved, like, the entire dynamics of our city changes.
Agreed.
Like, we have less people in the courts, we have less people in prison, we have greater graduation rates, we have less crime. But it's gonna take a lot of courage to go against that system. You know?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly know. Yes. Oh, I know O2L.
So, all right. I think that we have a few minutes left. So
Okay.
we're gonna.
Let's
yeah,
not take a break. Let's.
Okay. We're gonna go right
You
into.
talk about the birthdays.
Yeah, I want
and
to say
then I'll
happy
get the,
birthday to a couple of my cousins who celebrated their birthday. Happy birthday to Little Butchie. We all call him Little Butchie, but he's not little anymore.
He said, "Go ahead, Waynna." When I saw him, go ahead, Waynna. Say
said,
it.
"Little
I said,
Butchie."
"Hey, Little Butch."
Yeah, so we're celebrating a birthday this week, and my cousin Kerwin Gaines, who actually has a show on DETV.
He talks about God. He does a phenomenal job.
He's a natural. He's
Yeah.
never really been into media, but I don't know how he and Ivan connected, but Kerwin.
I don't either, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
I was
he
just
does a great
surprised.
job.
Yeah, but he does
really
a
good
phenomenal job.
So Kerwin Gaines, he just celebrated his birthday last week, so happy birthday to Kerwin Gaines.
That's all the birthdays you have?
Just two. I have some more next week, but those are the two closest for right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So as far as community news, we have Duffy's Hope Celebrity Basketball Game, which is going to be August the 5th, and it's going to be at the 76ers Fieldhouse, correct?
And it was sold out last year, so make sure that you get your tickets ASAP. And he just landed, I think his name is Jimmy Allen. He's a country singer from Lower Delaware.
Yes.
So Jimmy Allen is going to be at Duffy's Hope basketball game, playing basketball this year. So make sure that you get your tickets.
Are you
soon.
going to play this year?
No. I mean, let's continue with your announcements.
We have the Church of Exodus Gospel Concert that's going to be July 23rd at 5 p.m. at the Cathedral of Fresh Fire. And they're going to have Belvedere's Men of Simpson, Minister Gabriel Smallwood, South Carolina's Little Kenny, and Wilmington's own Mighty Heirs. The donation is only $20, and you can call Miss Ramona Smith at 302-588-1112. Once again, for tickets, call Miss Ramona Smith, 302-588-1113. And then we have Brown Girls Rock, Girls Rise Up, which is going to be Saturday, July the 15th, from 12 to 5 p.m. And tickets are on sale now. You can go to browngirlsrock.org. And actually, Trippi.
Yes.
Yesterday, I got to go to yesterday, Saturday. Is it Saturday? No, it was earlier today. You and I did, listen, I can't even, Velda Potter's event that
yes,
Miss
our
Marva
fundraiser.
Richardson is hosting at the Legacy Center.
Right. That was all. It was an awesome event, wasn't it?
So many people in support. This pre-recorded thing is
it takes a while to adjust.
to get adjusted to it. Okay. And then last but certainly not least, the 3rd District Planning Council Marketplace will be held Saturday, August the 19th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are looking for vendors. It's an outside event. All are welcome. For vendor space, it's $25. For nonprofits, it is free. And you can come out and meet your Civic Association members.
There we go.
The 11th Street Bridge Civic Association, Angels of Hope, the Northeast, and the Vanderbilt Avenue Civic Association. And if you are interested, it's going to be at 210 Vanderbilt Avenue. And if you are interested in getting a vendor space, you can contact me at 302-521-7325, 302-521-7325. And that's all that I have for today, Trippi.
Okay. All right. So again, thank you for joining in. Thank you for the love and support. And God willing, we will see you next Sunday. Have a great week.
Good night.